Is 2024 then Modi versus who, and is it therefore a done deal or an open contest? Each of my panelists, I'll give you 1 minute to tell me that. Is it a done deal or an open contest, and what is that one X factor that you believe will be key? In 2019, many believe it was the Pulwama bump that took the BJP beyond 300. Tavleen Singh, you start off first. What do you believe? Do you believe it's a done deal or an open contest? What's that one issue that can make a difference between May 23 and May 24?
I think it's an open contest, and I think that the biggest flaw in Modi's strategy is going to be the Muslims. Because if you notice that in Karnataka and wherever I've gone, the Muslims are very alienated. So if the opposition party can come up with a strategy that actually, gives the Muslims a sense of, the same security that they had before Modi, then the opposition
But Muslims were alienated in 2014 and 19 as well, ma'am. So what's changed? And will it not consolidate the Hindus?
Not as seriously as they are now.
Okay, you believe that they are far more alienated and therefore far more consolidated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Swapan Dasgupta, do you believe it's a done deal or do you believe it's still an open contest?
Nothing is ever a done deal. No election is ever won till it's actually won.
And what's the X factor?
So there's always going to be a contest. But what I found very significant about this entire discussion was that the term anti-incumbency never featured in any of our things. So in other words, the dissatisfaction levels with the Narendra Modi government is not as significant as to warrant a particular strategy, a natural coming together. So in other words, certain things have to be contrived, certain things have to be manufactured to bring them together. I believe that at present Mr. Modi has certainly clear head advantage over the others, not least because of the leadership issue, which there's versus whom the question which is inevitably going to come up. It's also the case that there is, as Ashok points out, that the developments in this country have touched nearly everybody, and these will be actually brought together in an imaginative propaganda sort of
so you're
campaign. But finally, I would like to question Mr. Yadav's belief that the poor don't think of anything beyond the parish power. I think that is a very patronizing way of looking at it. I think there is no empirical evidence to suggest that in all elections the poor vote only because someone gives them 500 rupees or the equivalent of that. There are other concerns which people have as citizens of this country, and they bring this to bear during elections.
Okay, I'll get Yogendra to respond, but basically you're saying there is no visible anti-incumbency. Pawan Verma, do you believe there's no visible anti-incumbency and therefore leadership will matter above all else? And unless the opposition therefore is able to provide strong and effective leadership, much like a Siddaramaiah is able to project in Karnataka, the opposition still is on the back foot. It is the BJP's election to lose. And what can change?
No, I think there is anti-incumbency. Maybe not as significantly as reflected in certain polls, but people are hurting, Rajdeep. People are hurting because incomes have shrunk. There is an issue of price rise. Welfarism has succeeded, but up to a point. The gap between the rich and the poor is growing. Unemployment is at its highest. There are several factors which today the country is facing a level of social disharmony which I don't think is liked by Hindus or Muslims or any other denomination, because Indians don't love endemic instability.
Okay.
So I think there is anti-incumbency.
So you're saying there's anti-incumbency.
But
yes,
to convert that,
go ahead.
There is anti-incumbency, but I want to put it straight in about 10 seconds. That anti-incumbency is not yet having a coherent, credible, organized, pan-Indian, grassrooted platform to take on what is a monolith, which is the BJP.
Okay,
so the only question for 2024 as of now, but it can change, let me just finish. The only question is, politics is dynamic and nothing can change if the Hawa changes. But as of now, the question is, does the BJP get 230 seats or does it get 300 seats?
Okay, does it get 230 or 300? Because the fact is, Ashok Malik, when I look at the numbers, The BJP still is well ahead of the opposition. The Congress ended last elections at 52, the BJP was 303. To overcome that gap, you need a huge wave. You need several states for the BJP to shrink. Do you see any X factor changing? Do you believe it's an open contest at the moment? Or do you believe, as most people do, that at best the BJP can shrink to 250? Below that is very difficult.
I can't see the BJP substantially losing ground in a national election from its current position. But having said that, as everyone has said, no election is won till it's won. And this is going to be a tough election, like all elections are.
Tougher than 2019?
Yes, I think.
Given the state of the economy in particular, the fact that people are hurting.
I think it's tougher than 2019 because it's also 5 years later.
So there is an element
the youngest voters today are 5 years younger. They don't remember the India before 2014. Right. They take a lot of things for granted. So that is a factor.
Okay. Final word therefore to you, Yogendra Yadav. You know, when you've been a psephologist, when you look at the numbers, we looked at 2004 also, in 2003, it appeared there's no way that Mr. Vajpayee could lose. He did lose. Can that happen really in 2024? Is India a very different place? And Mr. Modi is not Vajpayee. The BJP of today is not the BJP of 2003. Uttar Pradesh, largest state, same day as Karnataka, BJP scored a big win. You can't win India without UP. Do you agree pragmatism suggests this is still an election for the BJP to lose and for the opposition a difficult road ahead?
Rajdeep, 2024 is an open election. It is more open than it was after Karnataka. Of course, Karnataka does not mean that the opposition is headed for a victory. Of course it does not. And there is a real election to be fought. There is more than an anti-incumbency. There is, as Ashok himself said, fatigue. As Pawanji has pointed out, a series of issues on which there is potentially unease, beginning of frustration, but that needs to be brought together. Opposition has to now fight this election. The BJP wanted there to be a walkover before the match began. That has not happened thanks to Karnataka. Now there is a real match, but the match has to be fought. So I think we really need to think of what the opposition would do. It is for opposition to now fight this match unless a Pulwama-like accident happens or is made to happen.
Okay, let me leave it there. I want to thank all of you for joining me. It's been great to have a TV show without any noise. Everyone making fine points without necessarily even cross-talk. And it perhaps only increases our knowledge for our viewers. That's what we want to do, news without the noise. Thank you all very much.